am amazing as is. And of course, naturally, I'm going to progress, I'm going to change, I'm going to learn, but I am not going to settle with someone who wants me to do a 180. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rulla Alani, and today's video is your last man's complaints will be your next man's compliments. So the topic for today's video came to me the other day while I was driving. I thought of the phrase, one man's trash is the next man's treasure. And that phrase basically just means that to one person, you may be the most dreadful partner and the most worst match, but to someone else, you could be their dream partner in this exact state. As many of you know, I recently got engaged, and obviously to my fiancé, I am his dream partner. I check all of the boxes, I meet all of his needs and desires, and I am what he expected his dream wife to be. But in the past, I have dated multiple men, and actually I did not check the boxes for them. And during that time, I was so blinded by love and so blinded by whatever was going on in the relationship that I blamed myself naturally. And I'm sure a lot of you guys find yourself in this situation where perhaps you're single or you're dating someone and you just feel like you are climbing up a mountain in order to prove yourself, in order to be that person's dream partner. And it's not easy. You feel like you need to change yourself so drastically. And this is my message to all of you, that you are lovable and deserving and worthy right now in this current moment without having to change yourself into this person that you don't even recognize. I really want to get this video out to you guys because I was there before. I remember feeling super helpless because I kept dating guys and it seemed like I was not a good fit for them. I was not a good match for them. I really had to change myself even to make it work just a little bit. And that is not how a divine union is supposed to be. That is not how a sacred relationship is formed. There is somebody out there who loves you for you. And of course you will need to change, right? I think in any healthy relationship, there is a certain amount of change that is necessary. We all want to be tweaking ourselves and just kind of fine-tuning ourselves and refining ourselves, not only for our partner, but for ourselves, for our growth, for our development. And so, of course, no matter who you decide to be with, there is going to be an element of change. But I really want you guys to decipher between a healthy amount of change versus an excess amount of change. Because I know, looking back at my previous relationships, there have been times when I was drastically changing myself in order to fit someone else's needs, in order to fit their idea of who their dream woman was. And at the time I didn't realize it, but I was just digging myself into a hole. The truth was, I was not a good match for this person. And as humans, I think we fall into this trap where we think, well, you know, the more I need to work for this and the more I need to change, you know, maybe that means it's real. Nothing good in life comes easy. So we kind of get in our head and we think, maybe this is normal. Maybe we really do need to change ourselves drastically in order to find love. But the truth is, that is not how a healthy relationship works. When I met my current fiance, there were no drastic changes I needed to make in order to be his perfect bride, in order to be his perfect wife. He loved me as is. And of course, I have changed since I've met him for the better. But it was natural changes that came with growing older. All of these things came natural. It wasn't climbing up a mountain in order to meet his expectations. And so I really want you guys to do an analysis and try to decide, are you changing yourself in a healthy way to meet someone's needs, or are you doing a 180 just to barely be loved and accepted by someone else? Because if you're doing that, my message to you is this is not the right person for you. And I know right now you might not see it. I personally believe no matter what, all truth will come to the light. You will realize it someday in divine timing, but you need to tell yourself that you are worthy of love, of a magical fairy tale relationship with someone right now in this current version of who you are. And if that is not currently happening for you, then that means you have not found someone who compliments you. You have not found someone who brings out the best in you. And in my personal experience, actually, you're going to be going through a lot of different situations when you actually think people bring out the worst in you. And it's because you haven't done the inner work and you haven't done the healing to truly find your match, to truly find the person who is meant for you. So that is my advice to you, is to first off accept yourself in this current state. Of course, you might not be the most fit version of yourself. Of course, you might not be the wisest version of yourself or the most enlightened version of yourself. But until you can confidently be you and be comfortable in your skin, you're always going to be meeting people who want to change you, who think you're not good enough. So you need to do that self-work in order to accept yourself, because looking back at those previous experiences that I had, I don't believe that I was the same confident woman that I am today. Actually, back then, even I thought that I needed to change. Even I thought that I wasn't good enough. And that's probably why I was ready to mold into any person's version of me, right? Because I just wanted to be accepted and I wanted to be someone's dream woman. But the problem was, I hadn't accepted myself. I hadn't looked in the mirror and said, you are the prize. I was always thinking, oh my God, I'm the problem. I'm the reason why these relationships aren't working. I'm not romantic enough. I'm not sweet enough. I'm not feminine enough. All of these ideas was my state of mind back then. And before getting with my fiance, I had to literally rewire my brain and do a lot of healing and do a lot of work and growth in order to realize that I am amazing as is. And of course, naturally, I'm going to progress, I'm going to change, I'm going to learn, but I am not going to settle with someone who wants me to do a 180. I am not going to settle for someone who thinks that I am too much of anything. I am going to find someone who loves me for me because I love me for me. And I'm not willing to go over hoops and hurdles just to prove myself that I am worthy of love. And so I really hope that you guys can reach this level of acceptance with yourself, because let me tell you, you are going to show up in the world as a completely different person. People are going to be attracted to you because of you, not because of some idea of who you could be. They are going to be attracted to you because you are confident in yourself, you are sure of yourself, and that energy is contagious. Like when I met my partner, he was like, wow, you are everything that I've ever dreamed of and more. It might sound cheesy, it might sound cliche, but to be honest, hearing those words, I almost felt like an imposter, because in every other relationship in my life, I was inadequate to a certain extent. There is a reason why it didn't pan out. And obviously things go both ways. The other person was probably not adequate either. You know, that's probably why they wanted to change me so much. But the point is, you need to continue believing. You need to continue believing that there is someone out there and this person is going to compliment you. They are not going to complain about your weaknesses or your faults. They're actually going to love those quirky things that make you you. You need to start distancing yourself from people who want to change you, who don't think you're good enough, who think you're too much of this. If they literally want you to be an opposite version of who you are, well then why are you willing to give up your entire identity just to please this person? You need to put yourself first. And when you put yourself first, you end up meeting people who value you, who adore you, who admire you, and who respect that you accept yourself and that you love yourself. When I compare who I was 5, 6, 7 years ago versus who I am now, there are things that have changed. Just to name a few things off the top of my head, my boundaries and standards. I really formed my set of values and standards within these past few years, and I put my foot down. I was not willing to just go out with or entertain just any guy. The other thing that has changed is my maturity level, my ability to communicate, my ability to perceive emotions, to manage my emotions, my discipline. Like, all of these skills I have cultivated over the past few years, and it's allowed me to cope with anger, to cope with feelings that arise that, might not be the best. And so all of these things have helped me become a better partner, a better lover, a better sister, a better friend, a better woman altogether. But the other thing that changed was I started accepting me for me. I started owning who I was. I was not willing to dim my light or to shed a certain part of myself to make someone else happy. That was not a sacrifice I was willing to make anymore. So naturally, the people in my life who expected all of these certain things from me and who wanted me to change, they naturally just slipped away from my life because I was not willing anymore to mold for them. I was not willing anymore to change for them, to do a 180, to flip my life around just to please them. And in doing so, I started meeting people and attracting people who loved me for me, who loved me as I am. And I started dating intentionally. I wasn't just going to date someone because they were cute, because they were tall, because they had nice eyes. I was going to date people who complimented me, who complimented my lifestyle, who worked well with my personality, who shared similar lifestyle goals, who had the same standards and boundaries and expectations that I had. And the other people who had drastically different values and standards and expectations than me naturally drifted away. And so, yes, my last man's complaints have become my fiance's compliments, because I am not someone who is too outgoing for my fiance. In the past, I had ex-boyfriends who thought I was too friendly, too flirty, too outgoing. For my fiance, I am just wonderful. He loves the fact that I'm this social butterfly. He's quiet, so he likes that I bring out that adventurous, spontaneous, fun side of him. Perhaps you are currently dating someone who thinks you're too boring or you don't like going out very much. Your next man will love that you are a homebody, and that's actually going to be one of their favorite things about you. So start believing that whatever current state you are in right now, whatever version of yourself you're in right now, you can attract someone who literally looks at you as a queen, as a king, as the dream, as the prize. You won't need to do a 180. You won't need to be proving yourself. You won't need to be climbing up a mountain, trying so hard to fit this mold of an expectation that someone has for you. And if you are currently in a situation where your partner is constantly nagging you, or vice versa, you're always in their ear telling them, why are you not spending time with me? Why are you not doing this? And you feel the need to change them, then that's probably a sign that that person is not meant for you. And as much as you're going to try to change and appease them, over time, it's going to show that you guys are just mismatched. And sadly, I think as humans, when we are mismatched with someone, we want to try even harder to prove ourselves, because none of us want to experience rejection. I think at the core, one of our biggest fears as humans is being rejected, is being alone, is having these feelings of being ostracized. So naturally, we want to change, we want to make other people around us happy, but it should only be healthy, small upgrades and refinements. It shouldn't be full-blown makeovers that we need to do in order to attract someone who's right for us. Because as it suggests, someone who is right for us right now. They are going to compliment us right now. They are going to love us right now. They are going to meet us exactly where we are right now, and they are not going to be expecting any drastic changes. So that is my message for today. I hope that you guys found this valuable. I hope that you guys learned something. Definitely make sure to leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content, and leave a comment down below if you have had the experience where perhaps something that your ex nagged about or complained about is something that your current partner actually compliments you about and loves, because I know that is something that I have experienced in my journey, and I'm sure that some of you guys can relate as well. Thank you again for being here. I'll see you all next time. Bye!